Hello, welcome back. Another week, another big week, another huge week. We are total performance. We are almost up 40%. We're at 39, I think 0.28. We did hit 40, and then we kind of slowed down a bit, but we're basically right now at 40. So you can see really Monday was early week. We had a lot of gains. We actually broke the record for the highest gain in one day, and then I stopped the position, and then I kind of slowed down a bit with some other stuff, and then I kind of went back in, and then we started also gaining a bit, and then we gained I think around 3% the last day. So you can see this week we ended around 17%. Last week was 10%. The week before that was around 20. So this is a really incredible run, to be honest. Incredible. Here you got Nasdaq. Nasdaq is quite low. I mean, right now we've seen the market have one of its best rallies come back, and we're outperforming that by a huge margin. So this is really good news. This week, we outperformed it by more than 10% this week, and we did 60% of days this week. Overall, we're at 58.3, which is very high for Nasdaq. And right now we're above 20%, or around almost 20% outperforming Nasdaq. And then here you got SPY. So SPY hasn't grown as much as Nasdaq, but I mean, it still had a really good rally. We did outperform it by more than 11% this week, and then 60% also. And overall, we finally hit 50 for SPY, so that's really good. And then over here, we also have this week, right, okay, this should be, I don't know, I always forget to change. This should be 32 right here, so you can see 32% overall. Here, let me go back up. Let's see. So this should be right here, 32.28, and then SPY is 11%, which makes sense. It's a little bit lower than Nasdaq, so yeah, we're more than 20% outperforming. So we're around 32. SPY is 11. Yeah, so basically more than 20% outperforming. Dow Jones is the worst one so far. Dow Jones is all the way at the bottom. 4.4% this week, still pretty high. We're outperforming 54, so we're finally equal or above 50 on all the three indices, which is very good. And then this one we're outperforming by more than 30%, right? 32%. So insane rise. And then so yeah, this one's 54, SPY is 50, Nasdaq is around 58. And then over here you got the comparison tool. Also here you got Nasdaq, SPY, and then Dow Jones. And then so I mean, you can see the gap is very high. It's very good. This is one of our best quarters. Overall, so our daily percent gain still increased from our almost 1% to 1.6%. We'll see how if this is able to hold up, because I'm not too sure. This is very high. We got 2 more weeks left, then we got a 1 week break, and then a new quarter starts, and that's going to basically be 2.5 months for all of summer. And then we'll have a last quarter for a 1 year summary. And that's going to be probably through August, September, and then maybe a bit of October in there. And then yeah. So here we have 1.57. So it's still very high. And this was our new highest percent gain by more than 1% from our previous highest. Over here we have daily percent gains. So basically we have the first day we have performed everything. Second day was our big gain day. Then third day, a little bearish, so then we did take a hit there. And then here was also neutral basically. And then again, SPY was close to around 0.6, I think. Or yeah, so quite neutral. And then we also did quite well this last day. Recovered most of yesterday's losses, so that was pretty good. Yeah, not bad. So here we're finally almost there. I think we're 3 days behind, 2 days behind. If we combine these two, then we are higher, the neutral and green, but I think we're getting there. And then this did decrease a bit, 5%. Not bad though. And then over here, so here we have 4.89% on our green days average, and a loss of -1.4. So this is very high. They're very good ratios, but they're very high. So that's the volatility. So this is our 4.51. So this increased because of that day. This increased by a lot. We increased by 0.7, which is quite a bit. Over here, we got the mean day losses for SPY, so this did decrease a little bit, and the losses stayed the same. Standard deviation barely decreased. And then over here we have our ratio. So we're still, obviously, our wins to loss ratio is still a lot higher than SPY's, right? So our wins to losses, our ratios are incredibly better. I mean, we could be losing around negative 534. We currently have a loss of 1.4, or we could be gaining 1.28, and we currently have a gain of 1.89 to have the same ratio as SPY. I mean, having these numbers though would mean like a big drop, so it's not beneficial to have this, but it's just an idea. And over here we have kind of from last week. So last week we did have a difference above 2, and our standard deviation was 3x basically. And now we did gain 0.3 points on the difference, but then our standard deviation is 0.5 greater. So, in a way it's more volatile. It's more volatile, which is why it led to, which is, if you have more volatility, you want a higher difference, which we did have that. But you can see kind of where the increases in standard deviation are not leading to so many increases of the difference, right? So it's not really leading to as much gain. So yeah, you gotta be careful with that. And then you got mean transactions. So the mean transactions did increase a bit, almost around 0.09. And then here you have mean. So the day trades also increased a little. I think it was 2 days where I was just closing my positions. I didn't want to hold them. Kind of just closing them by the end of the day. And then so that's gonna lead to our day trade positions increasing. But yeah. Over here, so this is the last slide finally. So 39.276%. This is incredible. Almost 40. We're basically at 40%. We still have 2 more weeks. I mean, if we're at the same rate, we're ending at around 60%, which is unlikely. But it is possible, but it's unlikely. And then last week we're at 18.75. Last week I said I was expecting gains, maybe around 5 to 10%. We did do 17%, I think, this week. So I don't know about the next week, but we'll see. Just volatility. The only thing I'm pretty sure about is that this big rally in SPY, I don't think that's going to be able to last. It's going, the rally on what it's based on is not really. It's getting exaggerated. It's going back to overbought, which is annoying, because it's like, why can't you just be normal? But that's what it doesn't want to be in. But I mean, if it's right now, it's over there. So the SPY also did lose most of its gains on Friday. If I go back to the SPY graph, SPY did lose most of its gains on Friday by the credit rating decrease. So we're finally seeing some decreasing. But I mean, we'll see how long that lasts. My role right now is just to go with it, and then when we start to finally see some decreasing, then that's when it's time to go back into shorts, like last time where the whole crash, not maybe as much, but still those times, and then fundamental shift will happen, most likely between now and August. So we'll see. But yeah, so thank you for watching, and hope we have another good week. We only have 2 more weeks, so we're gonna be approaching the end. Maybe I think it's a total of 8 weeks this time. I'm not too sure, but all right. Thanks for watching. Bye.